G'day everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Shannon Lee and we're going to do some more art shenanigans. It's been brought to my attention that saying shenanigans does not make sense because the N part is kind of in there already. It makes adding another one kind of redundant. Thanks for your feedback, Mum. I'm going to put up part 2 of the design process video for Lexi very soon, but first of all, it has been requested that I put up an Enna video. Enna is my half-orc wild magic sorcerer, so today I'm going to show you the process of how I drew her as a person. A regular human. I mean, she is a person. You know, just a human with no orc in it. I'm not trying to suggest that orcs aren't people. That would be very disrespectful. Enna grew up in an all-human civilization. She was raised by a human mum and a human stepfather. Naturally, growing up in that environment as a half-orc, she kind of stood out and didn't always have the best image of herself. When she was a little girl, of course, she kind of thought that she wasn't very pretty. So today I decided to try to draw the version of her that she wished she was when she was little. You know, tragic. She now has much better body image and attitudes and is generally full of self-love, but back then she had some issues. So I'm going to be drawing human Enna, the Enna she wished she was all along. You'll see that I'm massaging the lines around a bit. That just means I've already got the illustration there and I'm just pushing and pulling the lines to make them sit in a way that I like better. And this isn't always bad, but it's definitely not the best way to be illustrating or drawing anything. I really should have started out with very loose shapes and ideas instead of putting one face down there, deciding I was done, and then mushing the face, warping the lines, massaging the lines around until it looked acceptable. It would have been much more effective for me to start out with several loose doodles. You're about to see a very interesting and unique illustration pop up by my sister. Thank you very much for co-starring on this episode, Madeline. Thank you so much. Just disclaimer, we're both queer and I am round. We do not think fat shaming is okay. I think that she just thought it would be funny to make fun of Satan. I don't understand why. There it is. There we go. Now if there's nothing I can say for us. Hashtag not spawned by round Satan. Returning to our regularly scheduled programming, I could have lined and relined until I was happy, but I believe this is one I did on the bus. Normally I find it easier to push lines around that I've already laid down when I'm moving around, bumping around on a bus, than to use sort of more proper drawing techniques. The main problem with this is that it means you mostly use your wrist instead of your whole arm. It's just not really a sustainable position to be drawing in. It's also not going to give you your best end result because your drawings aren't going to look loose. They're going to end up tight and awkward, which I can say is a little bit of an issue here. She is a bit stiff. And some of her facial features could have looked a little bit more natural than they do. But that's cool. You do the best you can with the situation you're in, and if drawing on the bus is the only way I'm going to be able to draw regularly for a while, I'll just have to deal with it. To sort of match her idealized idea of what sweet, sophisticated human Enna would look like, I wanted her to be fully over-the-top, hyper-feminine cutie, so small lips, just minimized whole lower face, honestly, smaller chin, big ol' eyes, and eyebrows that tapered and flicked up at the outsides, emphasizing that brow bone there that's for the same reason you highlight there with makeup. It just looks cute when you do it. I've kept her hairline from how I normally draw her, but I've kept her hair more thick and soft looking as opposed to how I normally draw it, which is almost straw-like. I like to make it very spiky and unmanageable normally when I draw her as half-orc. I've also totally done away with the huge hulking brow situation I normally do for her. I try to make her as monstrous and cool looking as possible because it annoys me when all female monster characters are just adorable instead of actually looking badass. Like, what's the point in having a monster character if you just make her look like a Barbie doll? I don't understand. So, this is the opposite, I guess, of that. I'm taking away all of the things that made her scary or weird looking. Normally I also draw her with really small pinprick pupils just to make her look a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Here I've given her normal size pupils. Bigger pupils, bigger eyes overall read to us as more sympathetic, and the smaller ones relative to the rest of the face read as a little bit more sketchy, or at least relative to the big-eyed folk less relatable, because we rely so much on the eyes to gauge whether we can trust the character. You're about to see a lot of colours flashing as I add overlay layers and finishing touches. But basically, here's human Enna all done. Thank you very much for visiting. And for any likes and subs, don't forget to ring the bell so you can check back in later for more art shenanigans. Have a good day.